Hello, hello, and welcome back to the On the Real with Andrew podcast, where me and my revolving group of friends discuss any and everything in the world of film and TV. I'm your host, Andrew Washington, and joining me today is an old friend of mine, but a new friend of the podcast, Jack Mayer. Hello.
Hello, thank you for having me on. It's been a long time coming.
Been a very long time coming. Since the inception of the podcast, I feel like I've been talking about like trying to get you on and like
Yeah,
what
we've circled different podcast episodes for me to be on, but I'm glad that
it
we're doing this one,
I
to be
know, yeah.
honest.
That being said, we do have a shit ton of stuff to talk about, so we're just gonna kind of dive right in. I want to first ask, what were your like biggest surprises this year, and also like biggest disappointments? We'll start with surprises.
I think the biggest surprise for me this year was probably Piece by Piece, which is a weird one, but
Okay.
when I hear the idea of Pharrell Williams Lego documentary, my first thought is there's no way that's going to work.
Right,
And then I
right.
saw it and it worked so well. And I
Yeah,
was
no.
so captivated by all of it. I really, really liked Piece by Piece. I really, really enjoyed that movie.
No, I enjoyed it as well. That movie's gonna come up in my list a little bit later. So that I agree wholeheartedly. I wouldn't say that movie was necessarily a surprise to me how good it was, just because I'm such a fan of Morgan Neville, the
Mhm.
director. But so I feel you on that. I think surprising for me. Well, okay, I wrote down like three things. One, I just said horror. But I say like horror just because there are three horror movies on my top 10 list this year, which is very strange for me as
I was gonna
someone who
say.
used to hate horror movies. I was very surprised by how much I enjoyed a lot of the horror, or at least like the horror movies that I saw this year. I'm not going to get too specific about them because, like I said, they're on my list, so we'll get to that later. But yeah, horror, and then the two like other specific movies that I think were my overall biggest surprises were a Kneecap. Shout out to our friends Kneecap. It is on my honorable mentions list later, but I just think that movie was so much fun. And when I say complete surprise, like I did not plan on seeing that movie at Sundance until about 2 hours before we went. Knew absolutely nothing about it. We read the plot description, which was very loose, and we thought it was fictional. Um, Come to find out, it's based on a true story, and everyone plays themselves. And like, there's just so much nuance to all the characters and like their story as a group, and also like seeing them live because we went to the Kneecap concert.
I
Like,
was gonna say it's a movie so good that we ended up having to go see them in
right.
concert.
Right. And then after seeing it again, after having seen them in concert, the movie just captures their vibe so well, which I
Mhm.
think is just another strength about it. The first time I saw it, I obviously knew nothing about them. So, but having seen it, I'm so glad that the movie, it was so good. And it really, really was such a surprise. So that, and the other one was a movie called My Old Ass, which I am going to talk a little bit more about later. Where it is on my list might surprise you. But that was a movie that I was shocked that moved me as much as it did. A movie that we missed at Sundance, but a movie that I ended up loving, and I'll stop
Yeah,
there.
Megan Parker's phenomenal. Writer
I
director.
need
The
to see The
Fallout is
Fallout.
so good as well. If you haven't
It's
seen
been on
that
my
yet,
list since it came out. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but I need to see that. Um, but yeah, so we'll move to what was your biggest disappointment this year?
so I'm not actually gonna say my biggest disappointment because I'm gonna talk about that movie later, and I know you know what it is, but I want to shout out another movie
Uh-huh.
that we actually saw together,
Oh.
a movie that I was really excited for because I love musicals. I love them so much.
Oh.
And when I hear that there's this opera coming out, I'm like, oh, wait, that sounds great.
Oh my
And
god.
then you and I saw Amelia Perez.
We witnessed the I don't even I is Trainwreck's definitely one of the top 5 words you could use to describe it, but I
One
even
of
feel like
them
there's
for sure, but I feel like
yeah,
that doesn't even capture it.
not even fully.
Like, I think maybe 10 minutes in, you and I just looked at one another and we're like, what the are we watching?
I think a movie that it was definitely not helped by the fact that I knew absolutely nothing going in. I think I should have had like a prep or a warning. I found out it was a musical when we were in the car going there. Like, I yeah, I have to agree with you on that. It
There were things that were good about it, maybe?
I, I think the only thing that saves it is that it looks cool.
It's a very
Uh,
well shot movie.
yeah, it looks interesting. That's about it.
And
And
there's a lot in it that's interesting too.
yeah. I will say Zoe Saldana is not bad in it.
No,
I'm not gonna
she's
say
the
that
only
she's
one
good.
trying
She's
and
the
she
only
doesn't need to try.
right. I have like almost nothing but laughter to just say about this movie just because it's so like
No, because that's what we were doing the whole time. It was just like,
just bewilderment
are you
and
seeing
shock.
this?
like,
Like, is this
I
real?
I
And it was
can't.
so funny as well because we saw a Q&A with the director, and the moderator of the Q&A was like, it was Del Toro, right?
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, he like could not come up with anything to say about this movie. It was fantastic.
No, it was like it was almost like we were actively watching him like trying to like grab straws on the ground. Like he might as well have like it was so I was like, did he even watch the movie?
I don't think he did.
Like, but then also in that Q&A, the director mentioned that he basically like pulled the idea or no, or he like well, yeah, he pulled the idea from like a friend's book, like stole it and
I forgot
just
about that.
like came over there and I'm like that's such a strange thing to like admit. I'm like
No, I love it when like directors admit shitty things about their movies in Q&As. It's so funny to me.
but no, I agree. Amelia Perez is on a different list for me. It's not my disappointment. But I think my biggest disappointment this year was unfortunately a movie called The Fire Inside, which I had high hopes for, mostly because of Barry Jenkins' attachment as a writer. I'm a fan of Rachel Morrison as a cinematographer. I also kind of didn't really know anything about the story going in. But I think I had said on one of my episodes that it was my most anticipated like at that time. Um and I saw it and I think I was just let down at the overly like stereotypical depiction of just black people and black trauma. I think it does things to evade it, and also it is based on a true story, so it's something that I've had to like grapple with how it really affects like this because it's a true story. I kind of have to forgive some of it, but I also just feel very strongly like
But it's also like the
against.
kind of thing where it's based on a true story, but they clearly embellish some stuff.
Right. But it's every kind of struggle that is like the first kind of struggle that you'd think of, quote unquote, um, is her life, and I just think it's so like it's a bit reductive. I mean, like, and it's her life. So again, it's hard for me to say like it's like why would you do that? But it just really rubbed me the wrong way, and I was expecting to really enjoy it. I think the second half of the movie where they are past her status quo and things change for her. I think parts of that half of the movie are interesting because, you know, it's exploring like the after effects of winning a gold medal or like being a black athlete or black female athlete post Olympics. And I thought that was an interesting perspective to take. But that's only, you know, the last 45 minutes of the movie.
Sure.
And even still, I was only interested because Brian Tyree Henry's performance is good.
Well, he's always good.
He's always good, yeah. So he's innocent, but I was just let down by Barry, and I think paired with Mufasa, which was just a very middling experience. I just think unfortunately Barry just had kind of a flop year. Like,
I mean, what are you gonna do?
You know, it's like, what are you gonna do? It has to happen, but it's just such a shame that I'm seeing it happen in real time. I mean, you know, even Spike Lee has his bad movies, but I'm just like, you know, I wasn't alive when they came out. You know, I wasn't actively witnessing his career unfold and, you know, having to actively experience living in an era where Barry Jenkins has made, you know, a couple of bad movies.
Here's the thing, though. If he's just getting Disney money to make a movie he wants to make, I'm fine with that. I can take a Mufasa for that.
But yeah, so that's probably why the Fire Inside is my biggest disappointment. Let's move into our least favorites before we get into the good movies.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do our like bottom 5. You can go first.
Great. Okay. So I'll start with my number 5, which was a horror movie this year. And one that I was actually excited for, but was just such a disappointment, and that was Longlegs. You know, I was really excited for this movie. I thought it looked really scary. I thought Nicolas Cage was going to be really good at it.
The marketing
everything
went crazy.
About it was just so generic and so boring. It wasn't scary.
I heard it was just like kind of like a Silence of the Lambs ripoff a bit.
Yeah, but it wasn't even like good Silence of the Lambs. Like, if you're going to imitate Silence of the Lambs, at least be good.
Right.
So yeah, that one was my number 5. It was, again, there's not much to say about it, unfortunately, and I wish there was more. It was just one of those things where, like, it looked so good, and the marketing was so good, and the movie was just bad.
Real. Okay. What's your? Let's do your whole list.
Oh God. Okay. So number 4 is gonna be. You know, I feel bad saying this because I'm from Newton, and you know, I want to support people who are making art from my hometown. But if John Krasinski is gonna put out shit like it, I'm not gonna. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's bad for kids. It's bad for adults. If you replace the score with a horror movie score, it'd read like a horror movie. Like,
I heard the score was good though.
With, like, how many people in Hollywood owe John Krasinski favors? Seriously. Like, how did he get this cast?
Oh my God.
How much blackmail does he have on these people? Seriously.
That's kind of hilarious. I never saw that one either because, again, I was told to avoid it like the plague. But
both Longlegs and If were a movie that I watched on planes. I think that's the only acceptable way to watch them, to be fully honest.
If seems like a plane movie. It's like if I was like 7 on a plane, it would be like my favorite. Like I'd be like, 100%. Oh my God. Like, I'd remember that plane ride for a long time.
I also remember the plane ride that I saw If on. It's because we had the captain announce over the thing, hey, is anybody here a doctor? Which is, you know, always something you want to hear on a plane.
Oh my God. Not the If omen. Well, that's unfortunate that you had to experience that, but I'm kind of glad that I did.
The things we do for art.
Right, yeah. Okay, what's your number 3?
Number 3. Let's talk about Red One.
Oh my God.
Did you see this movie?
I almost saw it like 4 times. I did not end up seeing it, but there were multiple times where I was wanting to go to the movies, and it was the only movie showing that I hadn't seen, and I was like making plans to go see it, and then I got to going to see it, and I was like,
You dodged 4 bullets, my friend. Oh, wow. What a
oh my
piece
god.
of shit this movie is. Like,
Even in
it's kind of
IMAX?
enjoyable for how bad it is, I will say.
Okay, it's
Like,
one of those
parts
movies.
of it are kind of funny because of how
Right.
bad it is. Dwayne Johnson doesn't know what he's doing. Chris Evans feels like he's playing his character from Scott Pilgrim.
Oh my god.
J.K.
At the
Simmons
age
is
of like
there.
45.
Oh my god, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Oh my
Like,
goodness.
here's the thing. You can both understand why it got greenlit and
Mhm.
also watch it and be like, how did nobody change anything about the script? Like, we
Right,
didn't have
right.
a couple more rewrites, guys? Nothing? Okay.
Is The Rock a producer on it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I'm like he was talking about it like it was his idea.
Oh my god.
Um
Have you seen the clip where he's like talking about seeing Oppenheimer in IMAX? And he's like,
yes. Yeah, he's
wow,
like I sat in
Red
Christopher
One on
Nolan's
this
seat.
screen would go crazy.
He's like I sat in Christopher Nolan's seat and it woke me up. I was like what the oh my god, no. I also saw Oppenheimer in the Chris Nolan seat, like second row center.
Mhm.
And well, I didn't have the idea to make Red One. But
You weren't
it was an
thinking,
excellent
you know what would be
experience.
great here? A
Right.
Dwayne Johnson Christmas movie. You didn't think
Right.
that? Interesting.
No, it didn't run through my head. I think modern Christmas movies just peaked with the holdovers last year.
I mean, yeah.
But what are you gonna do? But so okay. Anyway, what's your number 2? I'm getting scared about what's coming up because I know number
Well,
2.
this next movie is one that I saw in IMAX. Uh,
Okay.
and it's, I think, probably the only crossover our bottom fives are going to have.
Okay.
When I was in high school, uh, was when I really started to get into film. And I saw this movie in 70 millimeter called Joker. And I thought, wow, that sucked. But everyone else seemed to love it. And it
Mhm.
got nominated for a bunch of Oscars, and Joaquin Phoenix
11.
won Best Actor. And
Right.
and so now we have Joker full ado. One of the most misguided, horrendous experiences I have ever had at a theater. I was like restless during this movie. It was only 2 hours. It felt like 6. Uh
It was so
my
boring.
god.
Mhm. Mhm.
Who who? That's
Right,
all I can
right.
ask. Who?
Yeah.
Who wanted
No.
this?
Right.
Who asked for this? And the other thing is that I was actually kind of excited for the concept of this. Joker musical sounds like not the worst idea in the world. But when you
Right.
have Todd Phillips, the world's biggest hack, working behind the camera, and you have Joaquin Phoenix smoking his 85th cigarette, and Lady Gaga just doing her shtick, like, it's not going to be good. It's just not going to be good.
It honestly just shined a very bright light on how bad the first movie is,
Oh my god, it's
because
so
like
bad.
when they aren't able to like copy and paste a Scorsese movie, like you just
But they tried
are
to.
awakened to
They
how
tried to do New
bad
York, New York.
they did. But I mean, also New York is not great. So
No, that's
I'm like, they
true.
didn't even try to copy a good one.
One of the good ones. They could have at least copied like After Hours or something. I would actually watch that. As the
Oh my
thing.
god.
I'd watch
No,
a
yeah,
Joker
that
After
seems like
Hours
that
movie.
would be more interesting because the Joker feels like that could give to like like I feel like they would try to turn it into Eyes Wide Shut or something.
Oh, I'm sure.
But No, yeah. What is your least favorite / worst movie of this year? And I think I know what you're about to say.
I can tell that you know from your tone.
Oh my
Andrew,
God.
5 through 2 on my bottom 5 all hurt my brain in some way. Wicked is the only movie this year to hurt my soul.
Okay, keep
Now look,
just finish because
I'm
oh my
aware
God.
that a lot of people really like this movie. I'm aware that it's
Yes.
gonna win some Oscars. I'm
Yes,
aware
yes,
that it's
yes.
gonna get nominated for Best Picture. I'm aware
Oh
that
my
like
God,
it's
just say
making all
you
the
hate
money. I
it.
don't care. I don't care.
Just-
It's
Oh my God.
genuinely the worst adaptation of a musical I've seen, and I've seen Cats. It's worse than Cats. It's a worse movie.
Blah
Because
blah blah blah
okay,
blah.
here's the thing. John M. Chu does not understand how to construct a musical sequence. He doesn't. He doesn't get it.
I can agree to an extent. I was talking about this last night after I saw Better Man for a second time. I said verbatim, I don't like John Chu is not great at directing musicals, and I also even think that In the Heights is a better directed musical than Wicked is. Continue.
Yeah, but even Wicked makes me look back on it in the Heights with like disdain. Because like
continue.
Okay, all right. In musicals, there's a rule: when you can't speak, you sing, and when you can't sing, you dance. But Wicked decides, hey, you know what? Let's sing for a couple minutes and then let's talk for like 7. And then let's sing again in the same song. And then let's talk again. So let's break up all this tension. Defying Gravity, which should be a show stopping moment in the theater, should have you enraptured. Had me so bored and waiting for it to be over. And it started out well because it had that whole build up with like the terrible CGI flying monkeys chasing them. And they get to this like room and they're like yelling at each other. And then Glinda starts singing. And I was like, thank God, we're finally doing it right. And then they stop. They stop singing. Why? Oh my God. It pisses me off thinking about it. Like, Ariana Grande is good in the movie. I will grant that. I think Ariana Grande is great. And to be honest, if she wins Best Supporting Actress, I won't be mad. Like, good for her.
Yeah, real, because she is good.
Everyone else in that movie ranges from fine to terrible. I think Arriva was good, but I thought there were people who could have played Elphaba better opposite Grande's Glinda. I don't know what Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Yeoh were doing in that movie. They were stumbling their way through it. Michelle Yeoh's singing, we don't even have to talk about that. The direction is terrible. The editing is terrible. It sucks all the energy out of every single sequence. And again, I love musicals and I love Wicked. Like Wicked was my gateway introduction to musicals. So,
yeah,
by all accounts, I should have loved this movie, but I just didn't, and it was because of the way it was directed.
Listen. We disagree. I frankly feel like I've talked about Wicked too much.
Absolutely,
honestly,
I have too.
I didn't even.
This is the button I'm putting on Wicked.
Like
the last time I will talk about this movie.
I didn't even write down any notes to say about Wicked when it comes up in my honorable mentions list because I was like, I literally wrote down, I've talked too much about this. I like it. That's it. Like it's done. But okay. Yeah, that's your least favorite. And that's fine. Yeah.
The other thing that I will say that I think is really funny is I saw this movie later than like everyone in our friend group, which is really funny because I'm like the diehard Wicked fan.
Oh, we were all waiting for your because the group was like split in half, and you were like the verdict. Oh my
God!
But yeah, okay, well, good for you. Um, I'm my bottom five. Okay. We already spoke about Amelia Perez. Not in so many words, mostly laughter, like we said. But I just genuinely think this is one of the most baffling experiences I've had in a theater. Um, this year, I cannot fathom watching this movie and thinking it's good, um, or enjoying it.
Let alone
I
worthy of a
genuinely
Golden
don't.
Globe for Best Picture.
A Golden Globe for Best Picture, 4 or 3 other wins, 10 overall nominations, and it's about to like, oh my god! If they nominate Selena Gomez for an Oscar for this, I will actually have to riot because what are you talking about?
Careful, they're going to come
It's
for you in the
so
comments.
it's so clear to me that it's made by an old white French man, because it's so French, even though it's like about Mexicans and set in Mexico, and only one of the main actors in it is Mexican. Like, and Selena Gomez doesn't even speak Spanish.
No, she doesn't.
Like,
It's crazy. And every time she speaks Spanish, it sounds terrible.
and they altered the character because she doesn't speak Spanish well. And I'm like, you are then kind of taking the core out of the story. So many choices in that movie are so strange to me. I don't think any of them can sing except for Zoe Saldana. Um, Selena Gomez is, I am indifferent towards her music usually, but I think she is singing poorly in this.
I agree.
I hate that I can't tell when the music numbers like stop and start. Obviously it's an opera, so it's kind of supposed to have that feel, but I just think it is so, just makes the movie just so disjointed and all over the place, and really like a whiplash like experience of a movie. Like, it's like it changes genres every 20 fucking minutes, and it is just like doesn't know what the fuck it wants to be or what it is, and then it ends and you're like, what the actual hell was that experience?
From penis
I
to vagina.
I think I laughed out loud during that
I
song.
think you did.
There was one time the people next to us were like looking over at us because we were laughing so much. I was like, I can't. Oh my god,
And I was like, how are
that
you
being
not laughing?
right. That being said, it is at number 5 on my bottom 5 list, because, like we said, the only thing it has going for it is that it looks cool. There is, like, they use the money that they had well, I guess. I mean, I don't know. That's the only like redeeming thing about it. But as a movie about trans people, as a movie about Mexicans, as a movie about like, it's just so it's so, there's so much wrong with it on so many levels.
And there's so much better trans media that came out this year in film.
Oh my god, and we'll probably get into those later. But
Definitely.
yeah. So that was my number 5. My number 4 is Madam Web was really fun because I think I was drunk when I saw it, but I like planned to be, because I went by myself, I know, but I was like, I'm gonna have some wine and go and experience whatever the fuck this is about to be, and I laughed my way through that movie. Um, it's so bad, but it's like everyone knows it's bad, so it's like I don't even have to spend time talking about why it's so bad. But it's one of those so bad it's good movies, but it's not escaping the bad ever.
Which is very fair, and it was almost on my bottom 5. I just enjoyed watching it so much, and I've enjoyed watching it so much every time since I first saw it, because I've seen it multiple times. Oh, absolutely. The day that it released on Netflix, I watched it.
Oh my god, that now that's something I'd never do. My number 3 is one of the other. There were 3 Sony Marvel movies that came out. 2 of them made my bottom 5 list. The third one is at number 6 just because Aaron Taylor Johnson is just hot enough to where like I slightly enjoyed my experience. But my number 3 is Venom: The Last Dance. I think all that I really have to say that encapsulates just how bad this movie is like just to watch the last 2 minutes. There is a montage sequence of Eddie Brock saying bye to Venom that is set to the the Memories Bring Back You song by Maroon 5. And it ends with him being like, "So long, buddy. I'll miss you." And then that's the end of the movie.
I think that's beautiful, personally.
I I didn't. Well, the second Venom movie is like 85 minutes, and it's like literally like watching something on fast forward. There's like no subplot. It's just one story that finishes really fast. So I didn't know the pacing of all the movies are so all over the place. So I was like I couldn't tell if the movie was about to be over, and I also had a little bit to drink before I watched that movie kind of while I was watching it, and there are some sequences that I was laughing at so hard, but it was those final 2 minutes that I think in some ways were even more baffling than Amelia Perez, just because I was like, why would they choose? It was so funny and so just like what like I have few words for. I don't have many words for these movies because of how bad they are. But
I have a little bit more of a soft spot for the Venom movies than I do for the other Sony Marvel movies. But
okay.
yeah, no, Venom: The Last Dance was not
The
it.
Venom: The Last Dance is not good. I only saw it because I'd seen the first two, and I'm kind of a completionist, so I was like, I hated the second one. The first one I didn't hate. I didn't think it was terrible. I didn't think it was very good, but it was like fine. But I hated the second one, so I was like, I'll just see it. It was like only thing that was in. I think I saw it a couple weeks late, but regardless, anyway, my number two is Joker 2. That we spent some time talking about earlier. Again, we talked about this with Piper, or I talked about this with Piper. So we just talked about it, so I won't get back into it. But not a good movie. Garbage. My least favorite movie of the year was a a very incredibly boring movie that I think I was shocked at how bored I was. I mean, I slept for probably about an hour of it, like intermittently, and not. I saw it at like 2:00 in the afternoon. Like I was on like a work break, and I called Piper and I was like, "Do you want to go to a movie? Are you doing anything? I have 3 hours off right now." And we went to see Borderlands, and I could not even really tell you exactly what happened in it. I don't know how they got the cast to make this. It's so bad. It's so I video game adaptations are always like, they've always been traditionally like bad, but this one is like a new level of bad because it had been a while since I'd seen a video game adaptation. I usually stay away from them just because I'm not a video game person and they just don't usually appeal to me. But like I think the Sonic movies were like the most kind of recent, or like the Super Mario movie even. But I like moderately enjoyed the Mario movie. So I had gotten to a place where I was indifferent on video game movies, and then I saw Borderlands, and I'm like, oh, I forgot that I actually hate these. I I just don't know how they were able to make something that could have been so interesting so boring. And also, like, I didn't even play the game, but one thing that I do know about is that it's like an adult game. Like, it's like there's like cussing and like a bunch of shit goes on in the game for real, and they made the movie like PG-13. So it's like they're you can tell they have the energy of wanting to be rated R, but they like can't be. It's kind of a painful experience.
Yeah, I don't even know if you can qualify that as a movie.
It's a
that
video.
Feels more like content.
Content, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I don't want to talk for too long about that movie, so that I'm going to stop there. Those are our least favorite movies of the year. Now we're only going to be talking about good movies. Yay!
Yeah.
So we both have some honorable mentions. I have about twice as many as you do.
I think you
Um,
saw more movies than I did this year as well.
Okay. Well, I mean, this list is not like everything that I saw. It's just everything that I cared about mentioning. I was watching mostly older movies this year. I got my
Mm-hmm.
Letterboxd wrapped. I logged 499 movies.
God damn.
472 of them were first watches, and 470 of them were feature films. So
Wow.
I was like, I was on some dedicated shit
You
this
were on
year.
it.
Um, but of the new 2024 releases, these are going to be our favorites. So we'll alternate back and forth. I'll do half my list and then half your list and then other half for honorable mentions. I'm gonna go down from my list goes up to, or I have 22 honorable mentions. So I'm gonna start at 22, which is 32 on the overall list, and then go down. First, The End, a movie by Joshua Oppenheimer. I've not seen his documentaries, but I think this is probably one of the most ambitious movies that came out this year in terms of storytelling. It is another musical in this year of strange musicals, and I do think it could have worked a bit better on stage, or at least if they did it on stage first. But I ended up enjoying it, I was kind of shocked that I did. A little strange of a movie, but I wanted to mention it because it's not very like talked about, very well directed. Maria, probably one of the best performances of the year. I think from Angelina Jolie. I do think it is the worst or my least favorite of Pablo Larraín's trilogy of Jackie, Spencer, and
The
Maria. It is my
Suffering Women trilogy.
right. But love Angelina in that movie. Will and Harper, the documentary that is on Netflix, was at Sundance, but I missed it. Only thing I wrote down was fuck Amelia Perez. Um, Thelma, next on the list. One of my favorites from Sundance. June Squibb has my heart, and I cried so much at the end. Lovely movie. Honora. We did a podcast episode on this. So if you want to, if listeners, if you want to check that out, you can go listen to that. But in short, I liked it. Didn't love it. I appreciate the character arc, but I think the movie is a bit tonally imbalanced. We Live in Time, which I am not sure is a movie that you were a fan of, but we haven't talked too much about it. I really liked it the first time, almost loved it the first time. I liked it a little bit less the second time I watched it. I rewatched it a couple of days ago with my brother because he wanted to see it. But I still think it's one of the stronger romance movies this year. There is another one that I think is stronger, but yeah, I think both of those performances are really good from Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh. Baby Girl, a movie that I think is more sexy than good, but the sexy really carries it. And I need Harris Dickinson to call me. Memoir of a Snail, Adam Elliott's second feature after Mary and Max. I don't think it tops the heights of Mary and Max. I just think that movie's so effective and it makes me so emotional. But I will say Adam Elliott really knows how to make someone cry in the span of 90 minutes. I really did enjoy Memoir of a Snail. All We Imagine Is Light, which is a movie that I think is really well directed. I was glad to see that it got nominated for the Golden Globe for Best Director. I saw it after the nominations and a couple days before the awards. And it was a movie that I had to like discuss with the people that I saw it for a little bit to like really get it. But that's another romance film that I think is really good. And probably a bit stronger than We Live in Time. But next, a Japanese film called Evil Does Not Exist from the director of Drive My Car. I think the ending is so effective, and that was really what like made me love the movie. I was like not teetering back and forth between liking it or not, but like in terms of how strongly I felt about liking it, just because it's a very quiet film, but the ending is just so striking. And I think it's a bit of a step down from Drive My Car, but I was just really struck by it. And then the last one I'll mention before you can start is a movie that I think is going to be much higher on your list, but a movie that I still really enjoyed is Better Man. I wrote down that I'm sure we'll be discussing it more, but I do think it is the most creative musical that came out this year and the most creative biopic that came out this year. And I just think that The Greatest Showman has been found dead in a ditch. That movie's so much fun. I think I saw it again last night. And just I still don't really know who Robbie Williams is, or just because I just don't have the outer context of having grown up with him. But hell of an introduction. Hell of
I
an
will
introduction.
say, Jack McDermott, who you saw this movie with last night, said he would have liked it more if he knew who Robin Williams was. But I liked it
Yeah.
more because I didn't, I will say.
Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, no, I think we were talking about it after, and he was just saying like if he would, because he's like he's almost like household name status in like the UK and
Oh,
like
he
Australia.
is.
He's so famous. He just didn't make it here at all.
Mm-hmm.
But so when I saw it the first time, I likened it to Rocket Man. And I still agree with that after having seen it the second time, but it's a little different because Elton John is like people here know who Elton John is. So there was, and also Elton John's not a monkey in that movie. But I think if I had just had a little bit more connection with him, at least just like having heard his name before, I would have. But on what you're saying, there was a part of me that was like, if it wasn't a biopic, like if it was the same story and it just like wasn't based on Robbie Williams, like I would be like gagged. Like I would be like, oh my god. So a little bit of the same reaction in that way. But tell me your first round of honorable mentions.
Yeah, so I have 10 honorable mentions, and these are all movies that probably could have made my list any other year.
Mm-hmm.
But, there were slightly better movies that I saw this year, movies I connected with more, but these are all still great movies I highly recommend you go see.
Right.
Dune Part 2,
Mm.
great movie, spectacle. I can't believe Denis not getting director contention. It's
making me so
crazy.
mad. We're going to talk more about that movie later.
Definitely. Hitman with Glenn Powell, directed by Richard Linklater. I
Okay.
had such a good time with this movie. I was able to see it in a theater, which was really nice. And
I did too. I'm remembering. Oh
yeah.
fuck yeah! I saw it at the Alamo.
No, I went to like my local indie movie theater to see this, and the audience was enraptured by it. Like they were applauding during the movie.
Probably at the
And it
notes
was
app
just,
scene.
it's so clear that this was a movie that would have done gangbusters if it wasn't an Netflix movie.
I do see that. I was a little bit more middle of the road on Hitman. I enjoyed it. I wasn't blown away by it, but you're not the first person that I've talked to that is like it's one of their favorites of
Yeah.
the year.
And that's
So
another
I
like
kind of get it.
romance that I really loved.
Yeah. I get that. She's the I can't remember her name. I know it starts with an A, but she's
Adria
really good at it.
Arjona, I think.
Yeah. I again am not, I can't confirm this. I just don't know her name, but her performance was really good. I do remember liking her in it. But yes. Okay. All right, keep going.
Yeah. A movie that we will definitely talk about later, so I won't say too much right now. Nickel Boys.
Yes.
My favorite summer blockbuster this year, Twisters. I had
forgot about your
so
Twisters
much
obsession.
fun with this movie. This movie was fantastic.
You have to understand,
Twisters
was like half of J May's personality for like
absolutely,
months.
and it lived up to expectations. It was great. I had such a good time with this movie. It was so dumb, but it was perfect. It was exactly what I needed it to be.
It was a fun time. It was a good like dumb movie. Like yeah. If I was like I want to watch a dumb movie, like that would be a good dumb movie to put on.
Like I turned my brain off for 2 hours. I shoved popcorn in my face. That was all I wanted. And it was
Yes, it
also
served its purpose.
I will say, surprisingly good comp to Minari. Like, there's a lot that Lee Isaac Chung
Okay.
pulls from his experiences
I
with
mean,
the
the
Midwest.
Oklahoma. Yeah, I need to. I love Minari. I need to rewatch it. I think to understand what you're the argument you're trying to make. But I mean, it being the same director, I fully believe it. So I'm not
And
pushing
then
back on
last
that.
one I'll
But
say for this round of honorable mentions, Blink Twice, Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut,
yeah,
knocked my socks off. I saw this movie twice. I loved it both times. Uh,
yeah, no,
Another Adria Arjona movie, actually.
yes,
She's had a
she's in that as well.
great year, I will say.
Yeah, no, that movie almost made my honorable mentions list. I was very gagged by it when I saw it the first time. I think
Mhm.
it fell down my list just as time went on. But the I'm That Girl like needle drop in that movie gagged the
Mhm.
fuck out of me at the press screening I went to. I was probably the youngest person in there by about 30 years, but I was like, oh my god. um,
Yeah, great lead performance by Naomi Aki, great villain
yeah,
performance by Channing Tatum, great
yeah,
supporting
no,
cast too. Like, it's
and it,
good to
and it
see like Haley Joel Osment and Christian Slater in movies.
right, and it's well directed.
Yeah.
And I mean the story is intense, but I think it works. um yeah, no, that I agree. Okay, the second half of my honorable mentions list, next movie I want to mention is Piece by Piece, which you listed as one of your or as your like surprise of the year. Like I said, love Morgan Neville and I love Pharrell's music, so I just feel like I was kind of bound to enjoy it. And then it even further, I think, just kind of went past my expectations. Next is a movie called Exhibiting Forgiveness, which I've talked about on the podcast before. It was my favorite movie that I saw from Sundance that year. It's not the highest movie on this list. That like is a movie that I saw at Sundance, but when I leaving Sundance, I had it as my favorite of the ones that I had seen at the festival. I think that it's a hell of a first feature. And there's one particular scene that is a long, like, kind of dialogue scene between Andre Holland, who's the main character. Andre Holland is the actor, but he plays the main character, and his father, who's like the main supporting character. The film's about their relationship, but their first kind of real, like, big conversation that they have, I just think is so amazingly written and is honestly like one of my favorite scenes of the year. Next is a movie I saw yesterday called The Room Next Door by Pedro
I thought you were going to
Almodovar.
say the movie yesterday.
No. Imagine.
The
Oh
best
my
movie of
god.
every year. Let's just call it what it is.
Right. But no, The Room Next Door, Almodovar's first English language movie starring Julianne Moore and Tilda Swinton. I think this movie, you could liken it to like basically modern day like Circean melodrama. I don't know if you remember, you took film theory, right?
Taking it this semester.
Taking it this semester. Okay. Well, if you'll probably get into, or at least when I took it, we spent a week on Douglas Sirk and
Mhm.
like talking about the idea of excess and how films can be excessive in multiple kinds of ways. And I think this movie, it does a very good job of like subtle excess. I'm not the biggest fan of like Circean melodrama, or at least there's not many that I've seen, but the ones that I have seen, I have not been a fan of. But I really like this movie as an homage to that. It is basically like Almodovar dialogue just in English. So it's a little bit of an adjustment you have to do because it sounds like it would be beautiful in another language, you know? But you just kind of have to get past that and just like, take it for what it is. But I still think it really works. And I always love Pedro's use of color. I'm starting to really get into him. I've only seen like 5 movies of his now,
Mhm.
but in my monthly watching, I try to watch at least like one of his, a month or every other month. Next is a movie called Kinds of Kindness, which we've talked about before. But Yorgos, I think he like won me back over from Poor Things. Not that I didn't like Poor Things, but Poor Things was like not my favorite movie. It took me 2 watches to kind of like get it or to be able to say that I liked it, but I immediately enjoyed Kinds of Kindness. I just love his take on the story of, you know, the things we do for the people we love. It's just I just think he did a really good job with that, and I'm glad he's, you know, back with his writing partner. I can't remember, or the Greek writing partner. I can't remember his name. Or I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but I fucked with that movie. Dee Dee, which I think is the second best coming of age movie this year. It's definitely the funniest and probably one of the funniest of the year overall. I love the 2008 nostalgia, another movie that I saw at Sundance, like I said, there, and it's still not even the highest on this list from the movies I saw at Sundance. The Wild Robot, cried so much. Like I cried so much. Oh my God. Wicked. I like I said, we've talked too much about Wicked, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Wicked is on my
say
list.
Your piece. Give the opposite.
I think Wicked is a really fun movie. I do see issues with it. I don't agree with all of the issues people have with it. I agree with some. But I've seen it 5 times and I've had a fun time every time I've seen it. So I can't fault it for, you know, I can't fault it for any of that. I think we agree that Ariana's like fantastic in it. I don't think Cynthia is like the most fantastic in this. I said in my review, I think she's her performance is stronger when she's singing instead of delivering dialogue. And
she'll I have more issues to work with in part 2 as well.
I'm sure. I mean, I do love the production design, even if it's not filmed the best. And I think the costumes are great. It's not shot well. But also I don't think all of it is shot poorly. I think some of it looks really good, actually. But some of it does look like shit. Like I literally was leaning over to Amaya the first time I saw it at times. I was like, she sounds amazing, but this looks terrible. Still gave it a 9 out of 10 though. Like it's one of those things I kind of can't like. One of the most fun experiences I had in the theater this year, truthfully. And like I said, every time I saw it, and I'm just obsessed with the music. So that's the button that I'm putting on Wicked. If you want to hear more, check out the podcast. It's like 2 episodes ago. But yeah, Wicked. Sing Sing. 2 of the best performances of the year, I think, from Coleman Domingo and Clarence Macklin. I rewatched it recently with my family, and I just love the story. Just, the arts really can save you. So it's awards baity as fuck, but I don't really care. Kneecap, which I listed as my, biggest surprise of the year. Like I said, really loved it. So much fun. Kind of turned me into a Kneecap fan. I do listen to their music. And yeah, everything we said earlier still applies. Love that movie. That's my number 13. Next is Hard Truths. And 2 more of like the strongest performances of the year. I think Marion Jean-Baptiste is like one of the best performances of the year overall. Like top 3. Even like she's so good. And I love the way that Mike Leigh writes his movies. She did an interview with Ingenue Ellis, which I'm going to reference again later, where she was talking about like how his stories come out of like building the characters. Like he finds his actors first and then like has them do like observational assignments and stuff. Ooh. And like, take notes of like people that they see in their lives. And then they like build characters out of like all these things that they write down. And then he like builds a story around the characters that they create. And I just think that's like so cool. Kind of a genius way to make a movie and tell a story, and for it to be so like emotionally effective. Like it's, oh my God, this movie's so good. Mm-hmm. And also if you like Hard Truths, I would recommend a movie called Secrets and Lies, which is the first movie that Marion Jean-Baptiste did with Mike Leigh from the 90s. And I think she got nominated for an Oscar for that as well. But love that. And then my last movie before my top 10 at number 11 is The Brutalist. I think this is like, kind of top 3 in terms of like best directed of the year. And almost every aspect of it, I think, is excellent. I'm sure you're gonna want to talk more about this later. So, we don't have to get like too into it now. There's some story beats that kind of rub me the wrong way, but they mostly make sense for the story. So I'm not taking too much away from that. And I think the score is excellent. It's my second
So
favorite
good.
score after Challengers. But I really I couldn't see it in a theater before, because I went over to Mississippi for my Christmas break, and so I left right before it came out in LA, and I wasn't able to catch a screening of it before I left. But I got a screener for it, and we happen to have a big TV at the house in Mississippi, so I told everybody, I was like, I'm having the living room tonight. I closed all the doors,
Leave
closed
me
all the
alone for
windows
3.5 hours,
for three and a half
please.
hours. I made it dark as fuck. I pulled my chair right up to the TV. I was like, I'm making this an experience. And I'm glad it's fucking gorgeous, I think.
It's so good. And I would
But
recommend, if you have the chance, to see it in 70 when you're back in LA.
I want to. It is 3.5 hours, and the theater that's playing it in 70s on the other side of town. But I've been thinking about it just so I could have that experience. But yeah, so that's the end of my honorable mentions list. What are the rest of your 5, or the rest of your honorable mentions, and then we can get into the top 10.
My other 5 here, we've got Gladiator 2. Again, just such a fun movie. Paul Mescal is so hot in it. He just is. He just looks so good. Denzel's performance is incredible. I hope to God he gets nominated for Best Supporting Actor, because he deserves it.
Me too. Denzel is he thinks he's in a Shakespeare play. He's performing with that level of intensity, but it works, and it's so good.
Piece by Piece, we talked about it already. Great movie.
Yes.
Really fun. Loved the way that it was animated, the way that it was, the humor, and it was great. PG Spray is still one of my favorite jokes of the year.
So funny. Oh my God.
A Different Man, which I just watched recently. Really liked it. Didn't love it, but the more I've thought about it, the more I've liked it. Sebastian Stan gives a great performance. He's turned in 2 really stellar performances this year between that and The Apprentice.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm really excited to see him take on more non-MCU roles, because he just picks really interesting projects. The last 2, really, I struggled between these 2 and my number 10 on my list. Kneecap, great movie, incredible movie. I have not been able to stop listening to them since April. I love Kneecap. They're amazing.
So much fun.
And the movie was great. And then a movie that I know you were not as hot on, but as a Succession obsessed Jew, I loved A Real Pain. I thought A Real Pain was fantastic. I thought it was a tight 90, and I think that's what movies should be. Kieran Culkin is phenomenal. I thought Jesse Eisenberg's script was great. It was one of the few times I didn't vehemently dislike Jesse Eisenberg, which I think is progress. I feel like that has to count for something.
Right.
The story was really good. I loved the way it explored Judaism and trauma, and it was just such a good movie. I really loved Real Pain.
Yeah, I think that is a movie that I like more in retrospect. But the script is great, and Kieran Culkin is great. Those are 2 things that I will never fault the movie for. And honestly, I've not been mad that Kieran has been getting a lot of awards for it. I do think it's a bit of category fraud. I think they're both lead performances, but it's the business of it all.
And I think it'll get a screenplay nom and maybe a Best Picture nom,
which I think is deserved. It won the screenplay award at Sundance that year, or not that year, last year. But okay, all right. So now we're finally we're here. We're gonna go 10, 9 down the list, but we'll each do our 10, we'll each do our 9, and we'll do that till we get to 1. Okay. What is your number 10?
Number 10 for me is Edward Berger's Conclave. Uh,
Okay. Yes.
I loved Conclave. I thought this
Conclave
movie
is
was
so
so much
good.
fun. I thought Ray Fiennes was great. I think he's going to win Best Actor still
Mm.
because he's so overdue for it.
Over Adrian Brody, even?
Even though I like Brody's performance more, I think Rafe has the better narrative, and I think that's why he's going to take it. It's just one of the most enjoyable movies I've seen this year, and you wouldn't expect that from a movie about picking the next pope. Like, it's so much fun, and there's so much humor in it throughout as well. Like
Right.
Tedesco
The vaping
vaping throughout the
cardinal.
movie, so good. Yeah, I loved Conclave.
Okay, all right. My number 10 is a movie that I mentioned earlier, Mild Ass. Um, I think that this is. Were you able to see Mild
I still haven't
Ass?
seen this one yet.
Okay. It's so good. It's one of the strongest explorations of identity, I think, in a film this year. Particularly sexual identity. But I love the script. And it's only 89 minutes. But it's
Perfectly.
so affecting. I missed it at Sundance, but I wish I saw it. I got emotional several times. I particularly like with the story that they made Aubrey Plaza's character not like she only
Mhm.
shows up like a couple of times. In doing that, the story's focused so much more on Elliot and her relationships with her family and the people around her, and how like this kind of reframing of herself is affecting that. And so I'd probably say that this is the best coming of age movie this year over Dee Dee, because I said Dee Dee was the second best. But yeah, that's my number 10. My number 9 is actually Conclave. I wrote down it's the only movie I'd be fine with winning adapted screenplay over Nickel Boys. It's real drama, and I said props for making such an entertaining and simultaneously thought-provoking movie about wannabe popes. Really strong performances all throughout. I think it's really well directed as well, but I just think the script is so fucking strong, and I just love the way it's structured. The second time I saw it, I watched it with my family over Christmas break because my mom really wanted to see it, and I had to like write down pieces of the homily that he gives about like faith and doubt, just because I was like, the first time I saw it, I was actively trying to remember like the whole time like what he was saying, just because I thought
Mhm.
it was so good. But I had to write down faith is a living thing precisely because it walks hand in hand with doubt. I'm just like, ugh. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is a movie that you already mentioned. If you want to talk about
Okay.
getting emotional several times at movies, Better Man.
Okay, all right. Let me give
Better
me the
Man,
yes. Give me your better
I
man.
was not expecting to like this movie for the reasons that I did. I was
Mm-hmm.
expecting to go in for a so bad it's good movie, like The Greatest Showman, which I think is a so bad it's good movie, but it's a very entertaining movie. I have not been able to stop thinking about Better Man since I saw it.
Mm.
It blew me away. The Rock DJ sequence,
Ugh,
like,
so good.
it's so good.
So good. So
It's
good. Gagged me again when
full
I
of
saw it last night.
energy. And I love the scene on the boat between him and the girl. I think that scene's so
Yes.
well done
The
too.
rewrite the
Like,
stars
oh, it's
scene.
so good. It's such a good movie. It's such a good it's the best musical of the year by
The
far. I
style
loved it.
is like off the fucking charts.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Gracie should direct every musical.
Yeah, no. Better Man is a really strong movie. Like I said, it was in my honorable mentions list, but I fully agree. What is your number 8?
My number 8 is The Substance. I thought this movie was bonkers and I loved it. I
Bonkers banana
love
fucking
so
crazy.
much about this movie. Margaret Qualley is great. Demi Moore
Mm-hmm.
is great.
Perfect.
Dennis
Oh my god.
Quaid is great, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. It's crazy that
Right.
he had a year involving The Substance and
And
Reagan,
Reagan, which is not eligible for Best Picture.
which is
Funnily
bull.
enough.
But yeah, this is one of the most creative movies I've seen this year. One of the best performances with Demi Moore. I hope she wins Best Actress. It would be so good if
Yes.
she did.
Yes. She's my
Yeah,
pick for Best Actress.
production design as well. I feel like this movie's getting kind of overlooked for that, but the design of the apartment is
Yeah.
so good.
I a lot of elements about that movie. Again, I'm gonna talk a little bit more, but I just think Coralie, is it Farge?
Farge, yeah.
Farge, I just think her vision is so strong and clear, and I she is like probably my second pick for best director.
Yeah, like I
Yeah,
hope she gets in for director because it would be such a
she needs
sweet
to. She
nomination.
needs to screenplay as well.
Mhm.
And I
This one
think after
screenplay at
like
Cannes, right?
yes, it did. And after like because they put the screenplay online, and so like pieces of it made it onto Twitter. I read some of it, um, but it's just such a fun read too, and that's like part of what or one of the things that I appreciate about screenplays is when they're fun to read like on the page, like not just like oh this would be good when it gets to screen. Like it's like this is an enjoyable like a
Oh,
book
definitely.
almost. So yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, makeup and hairstyling. It should win. Visual
I
effects. The last like 20 minutes of this movie. Oh God, have not been
the
able to get it out of my head.
oh my god, like we're gonna talk more about it in a bit, but on the kind of a similar note, okay, my number 8. Remember at the top of this when I said that one of my surprises this year was horror,
Mm-hmm.
and I said I had 3 horror movies in my top 10. The first of those 3 horror movies is my number 8 pick, which is Nosferatu. I was this was almost I wrote down horror because the first movie that I wrote down as a surprise was Nosferatu. And I expanded it just because I was like, well, I was actually really surprised at how much I enjoyed all the other ones. But like my immediate, like biggest surprise of how much I enjoyed a film was Nosferatu because because of the, horror elements. I mean, it's not like full blown horror, quote unquote. It's more of it's very drama heavy with the
There's
horror
still some really
elements,
effective jump
but
scares in there, though.
there are, and I like. I mean, the opening. um, but another reason why I was so surprised is because Robert Eggers' movies have not. He hasn't been my favorite, and I'll say that I think The Lighthouse is a good movie. I don't think it's a lot of people think it's like a modern masterpiece. I'm not in that crew. I have not seen The Witch, but I have seen The Northman, and I don't think The Northman is anything to write home about. It's fine. So I was going in expecting to, moderately enjoy this, come out with like, maybe a 4-star, I'm like, it's at least going to look good. But I was kind of just blown away. I think technically it's one of the most stunning movies this year. Production design, costume design, and cinematography, especially. Same cinematographer for, at least I know, The Lighthouse. I don't know if he shot The Northman or The Witch, but I know he shot The Lighthouse because I remember he got an Oscar nomination for it. But he ate down though. I read that they like created new lighting techniques to
Yeah, I
like
saw
be
that
able
too.
to get the color the way that they did, or like bring like the blues kind of out to create like that moonlight look, and like still like make it look kind of like black and white, but still like with I listen, I'm not a gaffer. So I can't like, go into like all that kind of shit, but whatever they did, they ate too. Um I think Lily Rose Depp is fantastic in it. I also think that the final shot from that movie is probably like my favorite shot from like any movie this year. It's such it's so effective as a final image, but it also is just like weirdly like beautiful and like beautifully like grotesque, and just like so just a great bookend to like such an experience of a movie. I talked about this with Vivian on the last episode, but yeah, so I Nosferatu is my number 8. My 7 is actually the second horror movie that's on my list. I saw the TV Glow. This is probably, I think, the best exploration of identity film this year. I know I had
Better
mentioned
than
with like
Amelia
Mild
Perez.
Ass, way better. I wrote down, I said the people that didn't get it kind of baffle me because I feel like the message is like so filmically clear, and but like the story
Like the
also like
first 5 minutes, the trans flag.
right, it's like it's so, and like the entire color scheme of the movie, and like the there is still time like shot, like it's so like clear to me,
But
but
not in
I
a way that
just
it like hits you over the head, which I
right,
love.
right. I mean, in a different way. Unlike, I feel like the substance does hit you over the head with it, but I think that's part of why I like it.
I agree.
But regardless, I think that the final scene in I Saw the TV Glow is so it just like just hurts so much. But also like even the final like moment, not even like the whole like Owen screaming and like the glowing like coming, like not even that whole thing, but like the specific moment of after
When he's like stumbling through the
when he's like
arcade.
stumbling through and he's like apologizing for
Mm-hmm.
like the outburst, and then that's where the film ends. I
Oh.
was almost in tears at the end. It just hits so hard because it's like on some
Mm-hmm.
level so true, but it's just like so like unfortunate because you just know how long like Owen's been dealing
Mm-hmm.
with it. Like it just oh my god,
If
that
there
shit hit me
was
like a truck.
if there was one performer who I could like guarantee an Oscar nomination for, it would be Justice Smith for Best
Justice
Actor.
Smith. Yeah, no, I would agree. I think, oh my god, Justice Smith is so good. I think that film is so strong. I want a screenplay nomination for that so bad.
Me too.
That's like if I could guarantee anything for that movie, it would be a screenplay nomination. Um, but I really responded well to that movie, and I didn't really expect to. I had heard good things about it, but and I like I said, I was only able to see it like once it came out. What a vision of a movie, you know? What is your number 7?
My number 7, continuing this trend of horror movies, is Heretic.
Okay. I forgot you liked this
I
movie.
I loved this movie. I thought this was one of the best screenplays I've seen this year. It
hmm
was super effective with its scares, with its tension. I love the way that it talks about religion. I think it's funny. I think the performances are great from Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, Chloe East. That trio is
hmm
so good. And they hold down a movie that wouldn't fully work without the three of them and the way they play off each other. I
hmm
think that a lot of the writing is really, really strong. And again, when you're talking about with the screenplay,
hmm
this is one of the screenplays that I've read because they got
mm
released online as well. And there's a lot of visual stuff that they do with the screenplay that's
Okay.
really, really cool. Yeah, I love this movie. I've seen it several times at this point. I think it is brilliant. Yeah, I loved Heretic.
Wow. Oh yeah. Shout out to Heretic. I watched it over break. I don't think I was the biggest fan of it, but I can see the appeal of it. And I for most of the movie I was enjoying it, but then I think
Mm-hmm.
my feelings were just regressing, towards the end. But no, I love that for you though. What is your number 6?
My number 6 is a movie that if you told me it was this low on my list earlier this year, I would have told you were crazy. But somehow, Challengers is only number 6 on my
Oh
list.
wow.
I,
Yeah, I
oh
would
my
have
God.
expected higher.
I feel like everyone has said everything about this movie at this point, so I don't know what more I can add, but it's brilliant. It's got a trio of amazing performances. The cinematography is incredible. The score is great.
Everything.
Yeah, everything about this movie just
Everything.
works. It was
It's so well
thrilling.
directed.
Like I was edge of my seat for the last 20 minutes.
Like for oh my god, and the way that it literally feels like you're being edged, like, but it's so oh my god. I think the movie's so
Mhm.
smart. I think it's so smart. And
It's great to get Justin Koritsky's perspective on the Past Lives trio.
right? Oh my god, that shit was so funny. Was Challengers? Is Challengers his first screenplay? Yes.
I think so.
Okay, I remember that being part of the kind of narrative about it. But uh, listen, I have more thoughts about challengers later on, so I'll save. But I fully agree. I love that movie. My number six is related, but and in the same way, I think is a movie that I'm a little shocked is lower on my list than it is. Luca Guadagnino's other film that was released this year, Queer, is my number six pick. I think this movie is beautiful, and just like so poetic and gorgeous, and I'm like, it's just like the gay movie this year. But I'm like, I gotta do it justice. But I love Luca as a director. I love the way he tells his stories. I think the multiple like Prince needle drops in it were like two of like the ceiling like factors for me. I was like, this is literally made for me. And one of them is like one of my favorite Prince songs, and it's like a deep cut. The first time I saw it, I was like driving home for Thanksgiving, and I just like stopped at a theater on the way to the house because it was like the Tuesday or like the day before, and it was at like 10:30 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Which
oh,
is
I
the ideal time to see it, I think.
right,
Like in a
right.
fugue state.
Yeah, no, and it kind of complements the movie in a weird way, but I think the surrealist layer that's added with Queer, I just think it's like it works so much more in its favor, and it's just like handled so much better. I think Daniel Craig is excellent. Drew Starkey can call me too, but only after you dye your hair back.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
yeah, no, I did not know that he had a Southern accent in that movie going in, and that kind of gagged me. And I do you know that like GIF video of Alexa to me, and she's just like, it's just like different cuts of her moaning.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Me too. I felt the same way.
Me like the whole movie. I was like, oh my god. But it's just like so heartbreaking and so just a beautifully told story. I think Luca is really like becoming one of my favorite directors. Not to be like all film studenty, not even like film rowy, because Luca's kind of for the girls. But I'm like, I'm obsessed. My number five is a film called The Seed of the Sacred Fig. I don't know. Were you able to get a chance to see this? I
I've
remember you
not
telling
been
me you were
able to see
trying.
this yet, but it's like high priority for me.
It is excellent. I was kind of floored by it when I watched it. I felt like radicalized. Like I was like, I like fuck the government. Oh my god. Oh my god. It I think the way that they use the family to represent kind of the political spectrum, and particularly the way that all of the character relationships like mimic the relationships between those areas of the political spectrum as well, is so smart. And also like the context of the film being like the director had to shoot it in secret because he was like actively fleeing, like being arrested for the not the first time, also for like breaking censorship laws. And like he had to like flee to Germany to like finish it, like because he was like literally like actively facing jail time. It's just like so like eerily close to the film itself, and like really I just think speaks to the power of the film and the story even more. The climax kind of like turns into Scooby-Doo a bit. That's not a bad thing. I was just watching it and I was like, this feels like a Scooby-Doo episode in like the best way. And you'll know what I mean when you see it. But I mean, even despite how harrowing the story is, it's just such like, that just goes to show like how the film is entertaining on like so many like different kinds of levels, but it's still like, it's just so, not to, American fiction has like pushed me away from using the word raw to describe anything, but like, it's just like so raw and real. But yeah, I love that movie. What's your number five? We're getting into top
My
fives
number
now. This is
5
serious.
is I Saw the TV Glow.
Okay.
Again, we
Fantastic.
just talked about this movie, but my God, what an experience. Like, I had a pit in my stomach when it ended. And I couldn't believe that was when it ended, too. I was like ready to lock in for another hour. And I was like, wait, that's it? I didn't feel like I had been there for the full runtime. Yeah, it is incredibly well paced. Like I said, Justice Smith, one of the best performances of the year. Incredible directing by Jane Skellenberg. I think that's how you say their name.
Sh-
Schoenberg?
Schönbrunn? Not
I
sure.
don't know. Jane, you crushed it. You crushed it. It was a great movie. I love this movie. I've not been able to stop thinking about it. Both comforting and also like harrowing at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. I just adored this movie.
What's your go with your number 4 now?
My number 4 was in your honorable mentions. Yorgos Lanthimos' Kinds of Kindness. I saw this movie twice in theaters. Once in
Mm.
35 millimeter, which was so worth it. I went by
Mm.
myself and I sat in like the third row center.
Just that long ass frame.
Yep,
I can just
3 hour
imagine.
movie. You feel the runtime on this one for sure. I will say, but
I mean,
I didn't mind it.
yeah, it's not something that takes away from it, I think, because I mean, it's 3 separate stories, so there
Mhm.
is like breathing time and space, and it was almost just like watching like really good TV,
Yeah,
or
one
at
of the
least to me.
funniest jokes in a movie this year when they hard cut to Jesse Plemons showing the sex tape. Like I screamed in the theater. I was laughing so hard.
Oh my goodness, that movie is it's so good, but it's so funny. Oh
And
my
like again,
goodness.
I wasn't a huge Poor Things fan. I'm still not a huge Poor Things fan,
Hmm.
but I love how sick this movie is. Like it's so twisted and I love it.
Yeah, I know. But it's a kind of twisted that's not like off-putting. Like I feel like
Mhm.
Dogtooth is. Okay, that's real. That's real. Kinds of Kindness number 4. My number 4 is a movie that you mentioned earlier and is the last horror movie on my list, The Substance.
Yeah.
I this is probably the craziest movie that has come out this year, and it's probably the craziest movie of like the last 5 years. Save for like it's crazy in a different way. Everything Ever All at Once is, but like this is like visceral. Like I will never forget seeing Monster Elisa Sue for the first time. I genuinely like. Did we see it together the first time?
I
Were
think
you
we
at
did,
that
yeah.
Arrow screening? I don't know if we
Yeah.
sat together, but we were at the screening together.
We were definitely at the same
Um,
screening.
yeah, but you might have heard me scream actually.
Oh, I did.
But the first like half-second image that you see of Monster Elisa Sue like in the mirror, like, and it's just like the corner of her face. I screamed for like at least like 7 seconds straight, and nothing, not that I didn't like scream or wasn't scared at anything before then, but it was more just like disturbing or like wincing at shit, like, it was a
Mm.
lot of like, oh, like
I don't know
but
when her back opens up, I was like looking
like when her
away.
back opens up, that was like, oh, like, but I like involuntarily like screamed like full throated at seeing Monster Elisa for the first time, and then it doesn't let up after that. It only
Not at
gets like
all.
fucking crazier, and that's part of what I like about it. I mean, it's same kind of thing we were talking about with excess, but a much different kind of excess, like the in your face kind of excess. And like we were saying, it hits you over the head with, its message about like, beauty standards in Hollywood and everything. But I think the way that it goes about hitting you over the head with it is really like admirable. And you're like
Mhm.
really create something that you like never forget. Like I don't think I will ever forget watching this movie for the first
Oh,
time.
absolutely not.
Like it's oh my god, it's such a visceral experience. I think Demi Moore is perfect. Like I said earlier, I think she's so good. She's my pick for best actress. Right under her is Marianne Jean Baptiste. But I think she's amazing. Margaret Qualley is good, and Dennis Quaid is good as well. Some of his scenes are like some of the funniest scenes I think from this year.
Absolutely. Also,
Um,
like really upsetting scenes of him eating.
right. Right. But no, yeah, and like you said, it's just so visually interesting too, and one of my favorite films in terms of direction for sure. Like probably second best directed this year. So yeah, that's my number 4. My number 3 is a movie that you listed. It was like, I think it was like the first movie you listed on your honorable mentions, Dune 2. or Dune Part Two, actually, more specifically. Sorry to John Chu to say Part
Yeah,
Two, but the only thing I wrote down is why are people paying this dust? And because I truthfully do not understand and cannot fathom why people are forgetting about like the monster of filmmaking that this is. Like from the direction to like the performances, just the way that the film looks, I think is so gorgeous. I think Rebecca Ferguson needs to be in supporting actress conversations.
agreed.
I think even Austin Butler can
Austin
make his
Butler, I was gonna
way.
say, oh, so
Um,
good.
I mean, and even Timothy and Zendaya, I think Timothy has a much stronger performance in this movie than in A Complete Unknown.
Agreed.
Um, I I love Challengers a lot, so I don't know that I can say I like Zendaya more in Challengers or this one better. But I think in terms of like as a supporting performance, I think her performance is really strong in this movie as well. Like I there's so many different cylinders that this movie is firing on in so many
Mhm.
different ways and executing so fucking well. It exceeds over the first movie so much. And I am a fan of the
Absolutely.
first movie as
Look, I
well.
love the first movie.
Um
Blows it out of the water.
blows it out of the fucking water. I saw it and I've talked about this on the podcast multiple times, like with Harrison and with I think with Vivian like recently. But I the second time I saw it, I went to IMAX HQ and I was just like, this movie's fucking excellent. I love Denis. I've always said that I love Denis. Arrival is one of my favorite movies. In terms of a sequel, like I don't know that I've seen a sequel like that's been so effective. At least that's come out in my lifetime. All the ones I can think of are old. um, but it is like Empire Strikes Back to A
It
New Hope
feels
for
like
real.
a Lord of the Rings to me.
Like it feels like
That's the best comp I can make.
okay, I just think this movie's excellent. It needs to be nominated for Best Picture. It needs to be nominated for Best Director. It could if it had to miss out on something, it could miss out on screenplay. That would damage its picture, chances. But it, could be in screenplay. All of those performances that I named, almost every technical category, like it. And the first one was so lauded, especially by the Academy. Like it won like 6, I think, Oscars.
Yeah, but it
And it's
didn't get a
looking like,
Best Director nomination.
and it didn't get a Best Director nomination. And I'm thinking, unfortunately, that this one, it's starting to look like it might get goose egged. I mean, it'll get nominations for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it's getting anything above the line, which would suck.
Yeah, it was terrible and unfortunate. I just think that Dune 2 is like such a spectacle of filmmaking and we should respect it as such. What is your number 3?
My number 3 is The Brutalist.
Okay. Give me your brutalist take. I don't know that we've like talked for real about
Yeah.
this.
So this is a movie that I've like had to parse for a while and like really sit on and really think about. I remember just sort of being like stunned after watching it and then thinking about it and then going a little bit down on it and then going back up on it. It's such a dense movie and there's a lot that goes on. Obviously, it's like a 3.5 hour movie.
Right.
It's so good though. Like I said, directing on point. I think Brady Corbett will win Best Director, and rightfully so. Performance of the Ages from Adrian Brody. Performance of the Ages from Guy Pearce as well. But I can't believe that he's getting like shut out of supporting actor. Like didn't get a SAG nom, which is crazy. I love nearly everything about this movie. I think it is close to perfection. I think the ending is really ambiguous, but I also have like started to think about it a lot more.
I kind of love the ending. People were
I
talking
love
about
the
it.
ending.
That's something that that was one of the things when I did watch it that I responded to very well. I was like, I kind of love the way they ended it. But
Not to dive
yeah.
like super deep into politics with it, but I've seen a lot of people call it a Zionist movie, which I think is kind of ridiculous. Because when you watch the rest of the movie and you take it in as a context, it's pretty anti-Zionism, actually.
Yeah, it's clear to me that it is presented as a source of conflict for Adrian Brody's character, and because of that, I don't think that the film itself is like, you know, actively, I guess, preaching quote unquote Zionism. I mean, characters in it are Zionist, but also like
Yeah.
the context of when it started and also like it being like fresh after the war. So there's
Like
a lot of things
immediate
that go into it.
post-war. But like even
Right.
then, like the whole conversation with the Zofia, where she's like, "I'm going to Israel," and he's like, "Why? That's stupid." And then
Yeah,
like the
no.
whole ending, like turning the main title theme into like the techno as she's
Yeah.
speaking for him, and he's like silenced, and she's projecting her opinion on his art. I think is
Right.
brilliant.
Hmm.
Uh, like I said, a lot of room for interpretation, but I
Right.
think it's a brilliant film. I will also say, I know a lot of people are hotter on the first half. I think the second
Hmm.
half is so much stronger than the first.
Really? I think
Yeah,
I am one of the people that enjoys the first half a little bit more, but mostly because the stuff that I like less happens in the second half.
that makes sense. I just think
So,
like once Felicity Jones comes in, like it gets a jolt.
yeah, she's really good. She's very strong.
Mhm.
What is your number 2? And then yeah, and then I'll do and then yeah. What's your number
Mhm.
2?
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we might have our Luca Guadagnino movies in opposite places. Number two for me is Queer.
Yes, we have ours in opposite places.
Like I said, I saw this movie at like 10:30 for the first time. Fugue state. I was like
Right.
fighting for my life a little bit, and I thought that was perfect. That was the exact right way to watch it. I watched it a second time,
uh
cried my way through it. I think it is
mm,
beautiful. I think Daniel Craig's phenomenal. I
mhm.
think Jason Schwartzman, I'm surprised he's not getting a bigger push for supporting actor because I think he's great in the movie. Like it's such
Yeah.
a good, like meaty character performance from him. Cinematography from Muck Duprum is so good.
Mhm.
The whole
He's
dance near
showing up
the
a few
end,
times on your list based on process of
and he'll
elimination. I
show up
know what's
again.
coming up next,
He'll
but you know
show up
we're
again.
not going. I'm not going to spoil it for the listeners because I think they're going to be gagged. But
Andrew can see it on my shirt.
like, oh my god, but
Uh,
but
but
no,
yeah,
yeah.
Queer is one of the best movies I've seen this year. Brilliant performances across the board, brilliant cinematography. Maybe I like the score a tad more than the Challenger score, which might be heresy.
I kind of get it. I mean, the queer score is beautiful,
Mhm.
and it's, you know, made by the same people infamously. I get it. I get it. I just think the Challenger score is so inventive.
Like that whole
But
combo of Guadagnino as director, Kritsky as writer, Mukhtiprom as DP, and Reznor and
DP and
Ross.
Reznor and Ross.
Yeah, no, I loved Queer. I loved it so much.
Okay, well, I mean, we've already said my number 2 then is Challengers,
Mm-hmm.
because our spots are in exact opposites. I I wrote down oh Challengers. um, I I saw it 6 times, all in theaters. The first time I saw it, I think I gave it like a 4.5 out of 5 because I was like, you know, it has its issues, but you know, it's so much fun. The second time I saw it was when I upped it to 5, and I was like, this is just like immaculately conceived. But I wanna just read my Letterboxd review from the fourth time I watched it. 'Cause I started with saying it's the best 2-hour Uniqlo ad I've ever seen. I said I think this is kind of a masterclass in the art of excess. Not, you know, it's coming up again, but it's so obvious that it moves past over the top and into a kind of purposeful anti-subtlety. Everything is laid on so thick to the point where you're almost yelling at the screen for something to happen that we all so clearly know is going to happen, and still when that moment happens it hits so fucking well. And like, you know, the overtones are like, or sorry, the undertones are damn near overtones. So much of the dialogue is so obviously subtextual, and the editing and score only just reinforce that whole the tennis idea, the over enhancement of the melodrama, I think is really what makes this such a great balance of art and entertainment. And I think it just makes it so much fun. The film feels very careful to me and very well thought out and thorough. I still, and this is still true, even though this is, 2 viewings ago, I still have misgivings about the use of slow-mo and its effect on the pacing. But I just love the idea of sex and tennis coming together in the movie and the way that they prolong a lot of the scenes. I mentioned edging earlier, but I think it's very intentional that it feels like a buildup that is akin to, waiting for a sexual release, and then like the final moment of them like, coming together and they're on each other and they're sweaty and breathing and like and like, Zendaya's screaming. I'm like, this is sex on screen. There's not sex happening. Yeah. They're literally playing tennis, but like we're watching.
In the movie is tennis, except for tennis, which is
sex. Exactly. I said I love how structured Lucas' frame is in the movie, and he used the fuck out them lines.
And also the fact that like the whole framing device is that tennis match, and you're waiting for the end of that match.
And it's, oh my God, it's so smart. It's so smart from a writing perspective. And I ended with Mike Feist, call me. I'll be your blue pajama pants next time.
Look, I have blonde hair right now because of Mike Feist. That's why.
That's so real. Oh my God. I think a more succinct, like, thoughts on it. My third Letterboxd review was sex is tennis, tennis is sex, the medium is the message, God bless bisexuals. And I think is the perfect button to end on my challengers discussion. Love that movie. I'm wanting to watch it again, actually. And I'm probably gonna watch it again soon. Okay, we both said our number 2, and now we just have to do our number 1s, right?
Yep.
Okay. It's so funny because I know what both of ours are, and they're so different.
They're wildly opposite ends of the spectrum.
I think you can go first.
Okay.
You can go first. Okay. So, Jack Mayer, what was your favorite movie of 2024?
My number 1 is not a movie that you will see popping up in any awards conversations.
Not at all. Not at all.
It currently sits at a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes. It came out the first weekend of August. I saw this movie, I believe, 8 or 9 times in the theater.
That's ridiculous. I did not know that. Oh my God.
And I've watched it countless more times at home because I found a digital download of it and just watched it over and over and over again. It is one of the greatest experiences I've ever had watching a film. It's art. It's everything that cinema should be.
Y'all are about to gag when they say this movie.
It is M. Night Shyamalan's Trap. Now look, I'm aware that some people are not Shyamalan fans. They don't like his writing style. They don't like his characters. They don't like his cinematography. They don't like a lot of things about his films. To an extent, I get it. In a much realer sense, I don't. Here's the thing about Trap.
Okay. What's the thing about Trap?
It is a movie about how much M. Night Shyamalan loves his daughter and how all he wants to do is be a girl dad. But his work keeps pulling him away from her and spending time with her. And in real life, that work is his films. In the movie, that work is serial killing and chopping people up like a butcher. But what Shyamalan does with this film is he combines his two worlds by having his daughter, who's a singer, write the songs and perform in the film. Now, some people will say that Soleil is a bad actress. They're kind of right. But she serves her purpose in this film, I think. I think that,
I can agree with that.
She does what she needs to do for the story. I think Josh Hartnett is giving a masterclass performance. I genuinely think this is one of the best performances of the year, maybe the best. The cinematography, like we said, it's the same DP as Queer and Challengers. Banger year for him.
Banger year,
I
yeah.
love the fact that the whole movie is shot, the concert at least, is all shot from Cooper's perspective. So we never get closer to Lady Raven than the characters do. Lady Raven, by the way, the name of the singer that Saleka plays. Sorry, should have clarified that. Look, is the dialogue a little cheesy? Sure. But that's kind of the fun of it. Like, that's kind of what makes it enjoyable. Like,
and I
wouldn't want this movie to, like, be boring. Like, the dialogue keeps it interesting. Like, the way that no one in a Shyamalan movie speaks like a normal human being, like, that's interesting. That keeps you invested, because it's like, what are these people going to do? It feels like a D&D campaign. And that's part of what I really like about it. Like, he's making, like, constitution saving throws and, like, perception checks throughout. And, like, sometimes he passes and sometimes he fails. Like, he's using information that he got previously for different scenarios to get out of them. Instead of having to do a roll, he's rolling with advantage. He's rolling with disadvantage. Like, it's great. It's so good. It's one of the most brilliant films I've ever seen. It's in my Letterboxd top 4, and it will probably not leave anytime soon. Trap, 2024, best movie of the year, easily.
That movie, I when I saw it, I was like, this is probably one of, like, on the surface, one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen. But I see the vision. Like, I was like, but I see the vision, and that's not more. That's I've only seen, like, about 3 or 4, actually maybe 5. I was about to say Shyamalan movies, and I fully get and understand what I mean. Outside of The Sixth Sense, I think is, like, genuinely, like, good. Outside of the, it being Shyamalan, but, like, as a Shyamalan movie, I was like, I understand the kind of intentional comedic nature to all of the line deliveries and, like, everything about this movie and, like, the visual gags. I'm gonna pull up my Letterboxd review for it. I said I'm walking out of the theater right now cackling because what the fuck. I said it didn't feel as stupid as Knock at the Cabin, and the stupidity felt more intentional, but it's still stupid. A very interesting experience with me. I gave it 2.5 stars with a like. So
I gave it 5 stars.
The Kid Cudi cameo was so.
The Kid Cudi cameo was so good. Oh my god, I didn't even talk about that. Oh my god, The Thinker, brilliant.
Oh my god, I was like, now he's 613 down. Like, oh my god.
And apparently there were, like, other improvs that were, like, too dirty to put in the movie.
Oh my god!
Of just him hitting on Josh Hartnett.
Oh my god! I mean, again, love that for you. That Trap is at the top. I listen. For context, you were talking about, for the listeners, you were talking about Twisters earlier. When I said Twisters was half of your personality, Trap was the other half.
The other half, yeah. And that was a shock to me too. Like, that one came organically. Twisters was a meme.
Yeah, Twisters was like you were planning it. Like, you had changed, like, your Letterboxd profile, like, months before. Like, it was like, but now it's Cooper from Trap.
It's Cooper Trap.
And so Cooper Trap. So yeah, I mean, all I can say is I love that is your favorite movie of this year.
It's not conventional. I'll say that.
It's not conventional.
See, I love that my top 3 is, like, the brutalist 3.5 hour epic, queer, Luca Guadagnino, like, think piece, like, crazy bizarre, and then Trap.
Okay. My number 1 film of this year. If you know me and have talked to me, then you know that Nickel Boys is my favorite movie from this year. I think every time I mention it, I mention that it is my favorite movie from this year. It is a film that I was genuinely speechless at the end of, and there's not many times that happens. I think the last 2 times were, like, Judas and the Black Messiah, because like I remember we got a screener for it. It was like COVID time, but we got a screener for it, and I like sat like seething for 10 minutes after it was over, and then like Parasite before that, I was just sitting there like gagged. But Nickel Boys moved me in ways that I'm not sure that I could like comprehend. I definitely could not comprehend them like when I first saw it, because I didn't have words for how I felt about it at the time. I unfortunately have not had the chance to view it again since I saw it. But I've spent a lot of time with it and around this movie, partially, most infamously because of like the interviews and stuff that I did. So I've like been able to talk with Ramel Ross and then like some of the actors from the movie about like what their intentions were like going in, and how, that kind of affected everything. But I ultimately think the core of why I responded so well to the movie is because of the direction by
It's
Ramel Ross.
brilliantly directed.
I've been like hinting at like, oh, it's my second favorite, my first. I think that this movie needs to win Best Director. I think that some of the things that Ramel is doing here, I've like never seen before. And I've talked about, on the podcast before, like, I was with Jack and Josie, but like, Hale County is one of my favorite movies, his first movie, which is a documentary. And like, my senior quote in my high school yearbook was a quote from him, like from an interview that he did about Hale County. And like when I interviewed him, I like told him this. But so I already kind of had high hopes like based on that. He's just such an innovative storyteller, and I don't know that like, I mean, I've said even on this podcast, I can't fathom how certain things are told the way that they are. But like the images that he places together they're so strong and so powerful, but they're almost always like something you'd never expect. And this is his like narrative feature debut, and the documentary was his first film. But I think even with two films, he has established not only like a singular style, but just a completely unique and like evocative way of telling a story, and like not just the whole POV medium or like thing, but just like his blend of like, poetic and reflexive documentary elements, and then like blending that with the ultimately fictional story. But because of all of that, it feels so real. And I think Ingenue Ellis, who is excellent in the movie, by the way, the interview that I mentioned with Marianne Jean-Baptiste earlier, she talked about how she responded to Hale County, and she had said that it felt like she said it felt like an amen, and in that sense she meant that it felt like someone, she had a witness to what it felt like, growing up in the South, and like just being in that world. And I feel that with Hale County, and I feel that with Nickel Boys as well. But what's interesting about Nickel Boys and what's great about it is I think that it's more that it feels like Elwood and Turner have like a witness to each other, and when I spoke to him, he said that one of his ideas coming into making it was like, what if Elwood and Turner had their own cameras and made their own Hale Counties,
which I loved.
And is such an interesting like concept to kind of come into a film with, because Hale County is, if anyone's unclear, was put together from about 10 years of footage that he had filmed over time, just like experiencing life in Hale County, Alabama, where he lived working as like a basketball coach. And the way that the stories are intertwined and told together is just so beautiful. And it just like also really conveys like really well that Elwood and Turner are like inseparable. And there's elements in the story that, are more about that. I'm not going to like spoil, but there's like pretty relevant and important like story beats that convey that as well. But just from the way that the story is told, I think it's just so clear, like the care that he has for both of these characters, and it felt very like honoring of them, and then by extension, honoring like all of like the boys in real life that like went through these reform schools that this story is based on. Yeah, I just think this movie's gorgeous.
It's so
I just think it's fucking
really,
stunning,
really
and gorgeous, and I just love it so much. And it's, yes, the best movie I've seen this year, probably one of the best movies I've seen in the last few years, maybe ever. Who knows? But
Time will tell.
I love this movie. Love Ramel Ross. Need a director. Really need a director win for him, but at least the nom I think would just be enough.
No,
I
I
don't know
think
if
he
the
should get a
Academy's bold
nomination
enough
for sure.
I don't think the Academy's bold enough to give him the win. They should. I don't know if they are, but he should be in the 5 for sure. And it's also my pick for Best Picture. And I think it will get a picture nomination.
I think it's going to get a picture nom for sure. And I think Angelina Ellis-Taylor might get him for supporting actress.
Yeah, she's got momentum behind her performance in this movie for sure. And I hope she does. She's, oh my goodness, her character reminds me of my grandma, and that's part of like, you know, the whole like felt like having a witness kind of thing, because I identify with so many parts. I mean, I you know, did not go through all the experiences that they went through, but you know, just so many aspects and parts of their story, just like, you know, being like their age, and then like, you know, in the South, and like, you know, just the way that they connect with each other and the people around them is it's just beautiful. I love that movie. I think that movie's gorgeous. So yeah, we're at the end. Those are our favorite movies of the year. We've been talking for a while,
quite some time, and I think this is so like
right. I think this is probably the longest I've like ever recorded for an episode. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. If you want to follow me or the podcast on social media, you can follow me on Instagram at OTR with Andrew. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at the OTR Andrew Pod. You can follow me on Letterboxd at AndyMike1209. And Jack, do you have any socials that you'd like to plug?
You can find my Letterboxd at jmay658. You can find my Instagram at Trap the Movie. And don't follow me on Twitter. Trust me, you don't want to follow me on Twitter.
Very real. Yeah, no, you don't want to follow my personal page on Twitter, but the podcast page, go follow that.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you so much for joining me, Jack. This has been a lot of fun. And thank you again to everybody for listening. We will be back. Well, I'll put the Nickel Boys interviews up, and but the next full episode, I believe, will be Oscars talk and conversation and nominations. So stay tuned for that. All right. Thank you. Bye. See you next time.